field percentage, second in defensive efficiency, third in rebounds per game. Perk, how big a deal is it, this 3-game win streak for the New York Knicks?
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. Like we haven't said anything good about the New York Knicks in so long, and now they're finally building the foundation. They got the ground level. Now they're about to lay the concrete. Sooner or later they're gonna be putting up the framework. But you look at guys like Julius Randle, he's feel comfortable. Tom Thibodeau is making him feel comfortable on the offensive end. You know what that goes to show me? That Tom Thibodeau, the time he was off in his 2 years, he reevaluated himself and he came back a different coach, because some of the plays that they're making and some of the freedom that they have on the offensive end, I never saw a Tom Thibodeau team have so much freedom, but I love it. But this team is night. And Austin Rivers, this guy gets so much hate and discredit because, his dad is Doc Rivers. People forget, Austin Rivers was that dude in high school. He was a great player, in my opinion, at Duke. He went lottery. He was expected to be a super all-star type player. He's showing that right now. 13 in the fourth yesterday to carry the Knicks. Go ahead, Austin, do your thing.
Yeah, I agree. This is a huge deal. We haven't talked about the Knicks being relevant, competitive, all of the above. Anything you can think of about the New York Knicks that they have not done, they're changing the narrative. They're playing hard. Like you said, like Perk said, Julius Randle is playing at another level. He's getting triple doubles. He's putting himself in positions where he's near triple double every night, and you just see it's free flowing. Guys are playing hard. I watched them play against the Hawks, and they were down 10, 12 points, but they continue to play hard. They were efficient. You see Julius Randle being more efficient on the offensive end, not turning the ball over, and defensively they're just active and getting at it, getting out in the run, running the ball, and just trying to get as many easy baskets as possible, which is leading to 3 straight wins. So look out for the Knicks.
Yeah, I mean, I've said
Do they make the playoffs is the question.
Ooh, well, it's interesting, especially with the play-in round now at the beginning of this postseason. And I've said it for years, right? What has been so frustrating about the Knicks is not just that they've been losing, and they have been losing. They have had the worst record over the 6-7 seasons coming into this year. It's not that. Teams lose. Teams go through bad periods, and then they get better. It's the way the franchise was run. It was an insult to the fans who were so loyal to it, going through coaches like they were disposable, hiring and firing guys, never really giving some of these guys a chance. 8 coaches in 10 years, the way they treated some of the players, the way they treated some icons of the franchise that fans loved. Charles Oakley, Carmelo Anthony, what they did with Spike Lee. And you get the feeling that since March, right, since Leon Rose came in, there has been a significant culture change. Tom Thibodeau has been part of that culture change. And I just think the NBA is so much better when the Knicks are good. The Knicks are one of the premier teams of this league, and everybody has just been just waiting for this moment to happen. And it's not just that they're winning, guys. It's that they feel like they're doing things differently, and that it's just such a shift.
Yes.
It's such a change.
Absolutely. And they're fortunate because regardless of the Knicks fans not being happy, they still are loyal to their New York Knicks. They still come out and support them regardless. And now you have something for them to, quote unquote, be proud of because they're playing good basketball. It's something, it's positive. You can say now, look, hey, we're going to be all right. We got a chance now, instead of saying, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, absolutely. And now
somebody
go ahead.
Somebody give me a fan because it's hot in this church because Rachel's speaking the gospel today.
I lived in New York for almost 20 years. I think Knicks fans deserve better than they've been getting, and I am excited to see one of, again, the most loyal fan bases in the country get something that they can be proud of, and that, frankly, where the franchise is showing them the respect that it did not show them throughout much of the last 6 or 7 years. So let's hope that it continues. I want to move over, guys, to the Magic Cavs game because, man, this just stunk. Less than 5 minutes into the game, Markelle Fultz cut off by Cavs rookie Isaac Okoro. His left knee buckled without contact. Fultz was, of course, the #1 pick in the 2017 draft. This was a season-ending torn ACL. Now, Markelle did sign a 3-year, $50 million extension last month. Came into last night's game averaging a career-best 14 points, 6 assists, just 7 games. So, Vince, what does this injury mean for Fultz and the Magic moving forward?
Well, for me personally, it hurts, and it's tough because I got the opportunity to kind of talk with him, Markelle, in his Sixers days, and when he was going through his ups and downs. And I think the best thing that happened to him was being moved onto Orlando and for a fresh start and just to kind of breathe and just be in a different space. I mean, you start to see his athleticism again. And one thing I said, they drafted you #1 for a reason. Mm-hmm. Go show that. And I think Orlando Magic, the one thing that I think helped him was they said, hey, take your time, get healthy, and then we'll go from there. And I think doing that, he knew he had people in his corner. And to see him bounce back and play the way he's been playing a confidence, you kind of see why he was the #1 pick because of his abilities and his athleticism, knowing the game. He's tough. He gets to the basket. He just loves to play. And to see this kid go through what he's gone through, to go through this is just unfortunate, and I feel for him. But one thing I can say about him, of anybody going through this type of situation, he can handle it because he's been here before.
I agree. I feel bad for Markelle. I thought he was just finding his comfort zone and not worrying about trying to impress people of being the #1 pick. And he was starting to play some beautiful basketball, starting to be that facilitator, that big that can handle the rock, get to the rack when he wants to, make plays for others, rebound at a high level. And he was playing with a motor. He was playing with joy. And guess what? He's been through worse. I tore my ACL, and it's not as bad as people think. Yes, it's a season-ending injury, and you never want to have to go through that. But he could bounce back, and he will bounce back. And guess what? All this is going to do is make him want to come back even stronger, to prove the doubters wrong who was doubting him before. And also,
once again,
when you're out that long, you miss the game, and you don't take it for granted. When I was hurt, I had to sit out for 6 or 7 months. And I said, you know what, when I get back on the court, I would never take playing basketball in the NBA for granted again. Not that I did before, but I appreciate it so much more. So watch out to everybody in the league once he get healthy and come back next season.
Well, we certainly wish him a speedy recovery. Vince, you mentioned talking with him when he was in Philly. He came in and spent some time with us here at the Jump. He's a good kid, and he was playing like just on fire. And I really want good things for him in the future. I hope that he recovers as quickly as possible. All right, guys, up next, the Lakers are out to a strong 6-2 start heading into tonight's game against